Hello everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am the Sipping Tea, and today I'm going to be commentating on some gameplay of the Leopard 1A5 Era 2 medium tank. So, without further delay, let's get into it. So, I'm going to move into a more or less centralized map position here. I sometimes go here between the windmill and that white building to the right. My hope is right here that I'm going to be able to see some enemies moving into their sort of position for the, well, they usually camp on that side, and as you can see from the map, there is an awful lot of enemy tanks that have moved over into that typical camping position, but nonetheless there are still plenty of other tanks to shoot at which are a little bit more mobile, slightly less static than some, and so that is going to be my main focus right here, to see if I can catch a few tanks unawares and well, send them back to the garage sooner rather than later. I'm playing very defensively here. It's quite early on in the game. I don't want to really sacrifice much HP if I can at all avoid it, so I'm trying to keep somewhat hidden and also keep on the move for those who may have seen me. I just given that there wasn't really a friendly tank too close by to bonk into, I decided to bonk into the windmill. That'll do. I've got my fix, at least for now. I see that there's something going on over there, so I take a look, and there we go, the FV4211. I take a shot at him. Unfortunately, I do manage to bounce, which is a bit of a shame with the 1A5, as it does have really high penetration for Era 2. But I did at least spot it, so I did manage to get some spotting assist from enemies, from friendly tanks who were able to shoot at that enemy tank and deal some damage to it. I try my luck and take a blind shot. Unfortunately, he isn't there, or I bounced, whichever happened. But the enemy tank destroyer has given his position away when he fired, so I managed to sink a couple into that Object 120, a very good tank to eliminate as soon as possible, purely because they are able to deal such an enormous amount of damage per shot, 850 alpha damage on that gun. So yeah, definitely worth skimming as much HP off that as possible. The FV4211 has made a break for it. I managed to sink around into him. He's more or less now at half HP, but he goes behind some hills, so he's no longer a viable target. But what's that? He's managed to turn back, so I sort of keep focus on that area. Unfortunately, he does manage to stay hidden, so I can't get him. But there was a Centurion 9 with a definitely a perfectly legitimate shot from me. I mean, my crosshairs were definitely on him when I pulled the trigger there. So yeah, I earned that. Unfortunately, karma does sort of balance the scales, and I decide to miss what was otherwise an extremely easy shot. Maybe subconsciously I knew I didn't deserve that first round that I threw into him. But moving on now to the right flank, the enemy does seem to have dominated that side, so I tried to draw some attention there, but unfortunately none of the tanks were spotted, so I finish off the Object 120, again a very important tank to remove from the game. I managed to, well, shoot a tank that I wasn't focused on, whilst focusing on a different one, but damage is damage, I'll take it, thank you very much. I managed to sink a shell there into the FV4211, unfortunately miss the next shot. Well, there's not a lot to aim at, and the tanks are on the move. It can be a bit tricky, but nonetheless, as he maneuvers around, I do just sort of keep my sights on him. Unfortunately, he does his Harry Houdini impression, goes invisible, so I need to then focus on back onto the right hand side and manage to sink a shell into the M60A1 Rise, sending him back to the garage. Very, very good. Some smoke has been popped in front of me, which does make it a bit difficult, but the Leopard 1A1 is exposed. I sink a shell into him. He's then left with just 10 HP. Hopefully someone will finish that job as he scuttles off out of my view. I see tanks sort of running around everywhere. Managed to shoot the FV-4211 right in the cupola, which was rather lucky from that distance. I then follow it up with a shot that was truly aimed at nothing, because it's all about balance this game. One really good shot followed by a really terrible shot. I like to, you know, keep the balance. There is the AMX-13SS. Didn't quite get the shot onto him. It probably would have bounced looking at it anyway, as I really was only looking at the missiles, and that would have been a bounce for sure, so never mind. Now it's pretty much just a clean-up at this point. 9 versus 3. This game is basically over. It is ours, bar some sort of horrific disaster, but that is somewhat unlikely, I would say. So it's time to charge the enemy, move in, and just mop up what is left. The M60A2 there I managed to shoot whilst on the move, as he is the healthiest tank at the time. Really, that just eliminates him as any potential issue. Time to move in to see if I can get a shot on him. No, someone else got him. That is fine, but I see the FV-4211 and boom, there we go. I take him down and uh-oh, yeah, okay. Yep, I've ended up on my side. I've fallen and I can't get up. That is, if nothing else, true the sipping tea style. Unfortunately, wasn't able to get a shot into that AMX-13SS right at the end there. I did try, but the friendlies were just a little bit too quick for me. But there we go, the game is over. We have won. I took second place and my platoon mate took first. All round, otherwise, a very good game. That's it for this video. I'd like to thank you ever so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.